streets of Lagos, Abuja, Plateau, and the world over. Our expert analysts and thought leaders bring you the latest insights, expert opinions, and in-depth analysis on the stories that matter most.
We cannot in any way rewrite the history, but we can correct some anomalies going forward.
Listen, all we hear here is typical Nigeria, and you are clapping. That's why politicians get away with anything. They get away with murder because you have short memory. Nobody has power and will give it to you. If you want a pastor as president, can get one. The politician is there in Nigeria to steal, to maim, to kill, to remain in power.
I rejected the...
To see you.
No, thank you. Thank you, Plateau State.
Yeah, well, I was watching your interview, the one you did with Jake Estate. Yeah, well, I was watching your interview, the one you did with Jake Epele.
Yes.
I think it was last month or the month before last. Just when you were about to travel for the.
Yes.
I think it was last month or the month before last. Just when you were about to travel for the Rabat process in I think Morocco, one of these European countries. And what Jake said, it was. When I heard him, said what he said, it felt like he planned something because he said he has never seen a minister who understands the job and
for the people of Plateau State and to bring peace on the plateau also. So it's our duty as a son and daughters of Plateau State, regardless of your position, your tribe, your political affiliation, to work towards ensuring that we bring. Much as we may have our own intelligence, or the military and all this, they also have their intelligence also. And technology has made intelligence gathering from both sides easier, and that's why terrorism is becoming global because of the use of technology, either by the terrorists or the government also. And so there's this equal platform being given to criminals, given to government. That's challenges that comes with technology, which today I'm not discussing ethical issues.
Of course,
technology, but some of the challenges that you have with technology. But government is trying their best.
The president is pained about what's going on.
Yes.
Gilbert.
There's something I would like for us to look at, and that's if you go to the West in context, sir. You assumed office, saw the enormity of the job. And by the day, each time there is this event unfolding, it adds to the burden that you already inherited. How are you coping with that, and how do you go to bed, in essence, from the National Sports Festival?
Okay, move to tackle that issue. I moved into to tackle that issue, moved back. And then I was called also from the riverine areas. So it's like a ministry that every day you're responding across the country. Your ears are on ground. You're not just in Nigeria, but I keep on saying that humanitarian problems cannot be solved using humanitarian solutions globally. They have never resolved it. That's why you heard that statement I made. Humanitarian problems are solved using 3 possible approaches. Number 1 is peace. Number 2 is development. Number 3, then the humanitarian of poverty, humanitarian affairs and poverty reduction. Humanitarian affairs deal with humanitarian challenges. Poverty reduction goes beyond dealing with that word alone has about 138 data sets. It captures access to education. It captures access to water. It captures access to sanitation. It captures, it's like a federal government activity. Now let's take them one by one. If you take sanitation is under local government.
Absolutely.
And state government.
Absolutely.
Not under federal government. If you take education, primary education is on
federal
government. If you go to water, federal government doesn't have any water board.
Yeah.
The water board is actually of the state and district. If you take food, access to food, federal government has no land. What does that mean? The burden of poverty reduction is largely under the local government,
state
government. Federal government does largely an intervention program to ensure that they support the state government. So if you look at it, if government at the federal, at the state, at the local government will not invest in poverty reduction, there's nothing. We have the indices, we have the factors. Yeah. Now, on the social register that we have, and that's what brings the social register now. The social register is rated by the local government and by the state.
Absolutely.
Not by the federal government.
Yeah.
So this social register is rated by them. The social register was largely only the rural poor. But we felt there are many urban poor also.
Yeah.
And the urban poor are living in slums. And some of the urban poor are even poorer than rural poor than urban poor. Before now, government was targeting only the rural poor. So what did they do? They will go to a community. They will separate the community into 3 groups: the women, the youths.
So it's something even independent of the people. You're saying the people come and take part of it. Yeah.
It's the people that are generating the list. Then the village head will sign.
Bottom top.
Yes, the youth will sign.
Yeah.
The women will sign in each village. Turn it back to the village. They will paste the names in the village. The people will now validate it. They will accept that this list is generated and return it back to us, sign. And we'll file all of this. So we have a file of all this data across all the 200 something communities. Have community leader in somewhere like maybe let's say
Abattoir.
Abattoir.
Okay.
Or
Rayfield, Atiku Stadium.
how do you call them? Who calls the meeting? From the roof, AI can estimate the cost of your roof, of your building. Based on the cost, because if it picks your roof, you will go to the cost of that roof in the market and estimate so that you know where slums are and when we don't have slums. Secondly, from those areas that we have cheap buildings, we can now ask for the base stations that are there. So we can have telephone lines based on the base station. When you bought that phone, you estimate the cost of that phone. If people living with the community are having expensive phones, it means they are rich. If they have cheap phones, then it means they are poor. People that are completely offline are most likely, they have cheap phones and cannot even browse. They are most likely to be poorer. Then when you get the phone number, you can get the account number, you can get poor in the community for us. And that's what we use to generate 6.5 million Nigerians who are urban poor. That was how we got the number. Now, I was surprised when I saw some people on social media shouting that
I was going
to say CDSA,
Community Social Development Program. Yeah.
We are training them. The World Bank right now under my office, we are training them on how to use AI to estimate the number of poor people on the Plateau State so that they can use them. And the training is right now ongoing. That AI is the fastest way of re-engineering Plateau State. I can go on to tell you how we can use AI on several facets of re-engineering Plateau State and development.
Selected journalists.
Yes.
It was under the office of the Vice President, Professor Emil Sibanjo, together with the dear friend Hamzat Lawal of Connected Development. They took us to Abuja and told us how they came about the social register. You have to do some work before AI will come and do the complete thing for you. If AI at all does the complete, because you need some human creativity and imagination as well. So talk to us about this.
Be specific. There are job gaps in Nigeria.
Skills deficit.
Yes, where you have skill deficits. And for example, I'll give example. You have energy gap for
irrigation farming.
For irrigation, solar for the refrigeration, solar for the lighting and empowering of our homes. So that's a huge gap. So there are jobs already that exist. Now, the cost of energy has dropped, solar energy has dropped, PV has dropped over 50% in the last just 2-3 years. And the cost will keep on dropping. That's number one. Number two, over 1,000, over thousands of deaths in Borno. It was because of climate change. We had over 4 million people that were displaced last year because of flood from Borno. That's what we're doing. That's number one. Number two, we need to also create those jobs because there are a lot of people that, are available to be deployed across the local government and communities and go and drop it with where they manufacture turbine for aeroplanes and ship. And then you queue for your turbine to be manufactured because it's manufactured based on specifications. So the production takes time, becoming more automated. The mechanics
self-driving cars, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
And now most of the mechanics that we have cannot fit into the labor market again. So there's this large gap that is already in place, and it will keep on happening. Program that can upskill these people and deploy them across the country again, which means that most people we're having are fading away. They cannot fit into. Even the medicines, shops, you have families, you have hotels that will prefer this type of crops, and they will buy from you. And the cost is, and it has been estimated that they will buy from you. And the cost is, and it has been estimated that a greenhouse, a big greenhouse, generates roughly about 14 million. A big greenhouse, generates roughly about 14 million naira per annum in terms of turnover. So just imagine on average. So just annum in terms of turnover. So just imagine on average. So just imagine as a graduate who earns an entry point minimum wage 70,000.
Yeah.
70 times 12, about 840,000 in a year. Then you have this farmer who will not like to go to
Interesting.
So these are the things we're doing. And for the auto mechanic, we also gave them scanners. So you can sit on your laptop, you can dictate faults, you can advise the pull it down, fix it, and rebonded it back and brought it back to life. And they brought not one, cannot two cars in the course of this training.
Wow.
And when I met them, told me that, look, even our colleagues that came with their cars that we felt they're not doing good, we'll fix it for them so that they will go home. Because this is a 3 weeks intensive training. They start from 8 o'clock every day till 5 p.m.
And it's currently ongoing? Or
no, we'll finish today.
Okay,
how about to go beyond these 3 skills streams? Want to take it beyond this so that we can ensure that Plateau State, not just people in farming, in agriculture, and this.
Long and short story of it, they have been hit in Basa
by there's poor documentation of IDPs on the plateau. We don't have a register of IDPs. We don't have a register of displaced communities. And it's affecting us assessing some of these funding and opportunities that comes to the state and comes to our people when they're displaced. Which means that we need to partnership with the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and the IDPs. It's under my ministry. So
5 agencies, I suppose, under your ministry.
Yes. So this agency that works with IDPs, that's National Commission for Refugees, Migrants. That's National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and the IDPs. It is their duty. There is a duty. There is a duty to take stock of the data the state have about displaced communities and the people, and for that list at the national level, and work with the resident commission, the UN resident very well in time. There are some states also that have refused to benefit from. If you go to Zamfara has one of the largest number of displaced people now.
Right.
But there's no data. So Katsina is doing better than them. And that will take place in Sokoto now. We have programs taking place in Adamawa, but Adamawa doesn't have displaced people more than Plateau State. But Adamawa gets it for over 10 years because of good documentation. Every year they have number of households were affected. These are the issues that you normally do.
Heads per house.
Yes. This household, there are 8 people that are affected. Like in Mokwa, I can tell you that this one in Mokwa, I can tell you that about 300 and over 350 something households were affected. I have the data. These are from this household. I have some of children. I asked UNICEF, going to these households, these are the households that have children. Provide water, provide sanitation, provide medication for them. So that's how you respond at the national level. Based on, I can disaggregate every community by those data.
So
I can disaggregate every community by those data.
So state approach you.
Of course.
Approach you.
Of course.
For this breakdown.
Of course.
Interesting.
I have someone. I have someone that
for this breakdown.
Of course.
Interesting.
I have someone. I have someone that just sent me a message here that.
So in short, the instrument I have now is the best instrument for planning by state and local government.
But I'm concerned about Zamfara.
And I'm open. all the local government chairmen on the platform, open to them. They can come and get data about their communities.
Absolutely.
True.
Well, Honorable Minister, someone sent me a text, a cousin of mine, saying that
You must know what you are doing. It must be transparent. The reason is because nobody uses any data. Now, let me just tell you, these names that
a mistake or a mistake, or why is it that people have not
follow him. He came here. Nobody followed him to. Nobody followed him to. Nobody from the state government. He came here. Nobody from the state government. He came here. Nobody. He came to the state here. He came to the state here. Nobody to receive him. He was not received by any. Nobody to receive him. He was not received by anybody by the state. And we communicated the state. We wrote him a letter. He went there alone. The chairman of Bokos Local was not available too on ground to receive him for that program. Holding meeting with people in the state. They held one in holding meeting with people in the state. They held one in Abuja. They invited even the staff under my own in Abuja. They invited even the staff under my office, but I was not invited. They invited the Ponsah from the state. They invited everybody in Abuja. They were dragging me on social media that I didn't attend it. But I cannot attend what I was not invited at this stage because I hold an office. If you don't respect the entire way, respect the office. It's not the entire way you're respecting, it's the office you're respecting. I should be part of it. So, I'm open, and I'm still open. I'm still available for that. And the same thing, the state government held me. Because this project will still come to my state, so they will still meet me. So, if there's any synergy that they need at the national level, I'm the best route to Abuja. I'm the best. And that's why I said that if I challenge the state to bring any data that they invite for any meeting. There's no proof for anything. And I'm open. There's no invitation they've sent to my office concerning the welcome. If I send my minister and minister of state and nobody welcomed him, nobody followed him. I've been to other states. If I go even opposition state, I visit the governors. I know the attention they give me. Happening in Bauchi. We work together with ECOWAS. We took $200,000 US to Bauchi and provide relief materials with them through the ECOWAS community. So, collaborations, the federal government would have been a big boost for this state.
Well, lastly, Honorable Minister, talk to us about Empower. What's going What is going on with Empower?
You know, when I came to the investigation,
still ongoing?
On the accounts are still ongoing.
Wow.
That's number one. We now seek if the president will give us approval so that we can make payment from what we call service-wide on it.
Yeah.
This year, mark you, it simply means that it was not in the budget. And once it's not in the budget, you must source it under service-wide. You can't source it from the main budget because the main approval under what we call service-wide vote to ensure that we meet their needs. Now, you cannot go on air always and respond to these issues,